Hey, it's Kate again. So, this week I am talking about real food breakfast. So, even if you have no time in the morning and you're always running and it's always a hustle and bustle, there's still a way to have real foods for breakfast. We do it every single day, and there are easy ways to do it where you don't have to make it if you don't want to. It's all ready to grab and go. You can eat it on the go, or it's ready to eat right at the house and you don't have to cook. Or there are simple, only a few minute ways to make a real food breakfast. So let's just jump right in and get some of these ideas out there. One of the things you want to make sure you do at breakfast is balance out some of your macros or your nutrients. You want to get a nice balance of carbs, healthy fats, and protein to start your day. Working in your veggies is a great way to add something to your breakfast as well. When we talk about carbs for our breakfast at home, what we like to think about are oats. Whole grain, 100% whole grain oats are the best. And the best news about it is we don't make these in the morning. We don't usually eat stovetop or fresh made oats, although you certainly can. What we do is we love our slow cooker. So we do some slow cooker or overnight oats just in a jar. And that way they're ready to go in the morning, they're ready to eat. You can top them with fresh berries, or depending on how you make them, one of ours favorite is a cinnamon oat, so sometimes we drizzle a tiny bit of maple syrup over the top in the morning, and they're ready to go. So all we have to do is rewarm them the next morning, and they're all set. Another great oat breakfast that we love are oat muffins, if you will. So all they are is basically a mix of oats, kind of very similar to what you would make in your slow cooker, but then you put them in little muffin cups and you bake them. So it's a baked oat instead, and they are delicious. And this is another thing where you can make an entire week to 2 weeks worth of muffin cups on a Sunday afternoon and put them in the fridge and then eat them all week. And those are a grab and go oat item that you could take with you. We love to add little toppers like nuts or fresh fruit to add a little bit more to the muffin cup. If you're loving these suggestions about these oats and the overnight oats and slow cooker oats and the oat muffin cups, you can check out my Pinterest board, and you can look me up there. It's under Kate Bryant and Simply Mindful Wellness, and I post all these different and link to all these different recipes that I love, that I use, that are real foods recipes. Next up on our carb list in the morning are one of my absolute favorites, which is homemade biscuits. I started making whole wheat homemade biscuits not too long ago, and they are so delicious. It's one of my favorite things in the morning. I top it with just a half a teaspoon to maybe a teaspoon of this delicious apple spread that I also make in a slow cooker. And it's amazing. It's just a little special homemade treat in the morning, and I love it with my eggs, which I'll talk about in a minute for my protein. So it's another delicious carb. You can make your own bread if you're into that and have different variations, an apple bread or cinnamon raisin bread for the morning. That's another delicious item that you can have. But having a slice of that in the morning with your breakfast is a great start for a healthy carb in the morning. Another carb item that we love are our homemade granola bars, or you could even do a homemade granola cereal if you wanted. So I make these bars for the week for a healthy snack for my son at school and my husband as well. He loves them and they are amazing. So what you do is you just make the whole batch for the week on Sunday, and it's another grab and go item. I package it up into separate containers for each person so they can literally just grab the container for the day and stick it in their bag and head out. So these are another great way, another great item to add as a carb to your weekly routine. One of the things that I love most in the morning, because it's a little bit heavier and makes me feel nice and full, are eggs. We do variations of all types of eggs in our house in the morning, and everybody has some type of egg. I personally love a scrambled egg with some fresh spinach in it, along with my homemade biscuit with the apple butter on it in the morning. And that's my go-to. I use egg whites a lot of the week, and I leave out the yolk. I just don't personally love yolk, and I have a full scrambled egg with a yolk sometimes for that healthy fat. But I just really like the way that my egg whites taste, and I just love it. So I go with egg whites. My son does a mix and match. He does a little bit of egg whites sometimes, then he'll have whole eggs, and he just picks his egg based on how he feels that day. And we do cook these in the morning. and they're not made ahead, but there are some great ways to make these ahead. You can do a quiche, you can do a breakfast burrito and have the eggs in there, and you could do it all on a Sunday, put them in the fridge, and have a grab and go item for you during the week. Just one thing I wanted to talk about with the eggs. If you're also having a hard-boiled egg, say for a snack, and you really enjoy eggs, and you have found that you will lean towards having an egg for part of several meals a day, just keep one thing in mind, that a cholesterol level in one egg yolk is 67% of your daily cholesterol. And if you're enjoying meat and other animal proteins, you're probably also having quite a bit of cholesterol in various other sources. And there's nothing wrong with cholesterol. Everybody has to have it. Your body makes it, and you can also eat it in your diet. But one thing to keep in mind is that you want to have a nice balance every day, and you want to stay, within that 100% of the cholesterol you should have or less in a day. So one thing to look at is how many times a day are you eating things? And this goes really for any macro or any nutrient. You want to keep a nice balance. So it's not that you can't have egg yolks. You certainly can, and they're very healthy for you. But you need to just be aware of how much you're eating in a day. So for example, if I have a full egg in the morning, I don't usually eat and it doesn't matter if the egg is full or egg whites. I don't usually eat another egg product during the day. I may have a little bit of sour cream later in the day, so that has some fat in it. That's something that I enjoy as a dip with a snack during the day. And, I will have a meat later, like a chicken or something, and there'll be some fat in that. But in a day, I probably aren't, I'm not reaching that 100%, or I'm very close on some days. But I don't do that every day. And if I were to have several of those eggs with the yolks every day, plus the additional items that I usually eat, I would definitely be well over what I actually needed for cholesterol in a day. This may not be a problem for you, but it's something to keep in mind. And if you already have a problem with cholesterol and you've been told that, then this is definitely something that you should think about when making the choice between a full egg and an egg white. And now I know that purists in the real food world would definitely say to never just separate everything out. However, there are just some circumstances that we fall into, or that maybe our past has brought us to, that we need to be aware of these nutritional components, because scientifically the egg hasn't changed. So, fad diets and things like that out there, they talk a lot about eggs and having eggs, and whole eggs are great. You just have to be aware of how it all fits in. So I got a little off track, so let's get back on track with our breakfast. Another great source of protein is yogurt. So you can do regular yogurt or Greek yogurt, and we love Greek yogurt. And you can have this plain, which I think is the best, because it's really the best way to avoid heavily processed yogurts out there, whether it's Greek or regular. So having it plain and adding your own flavor to it is really the best way, because you know exactly what's going into it. You could add a little drizzle of 100% pure maple syrup, a little drizzle of honey, a little of your homemade granola. You could add some fresh fruit on top as well, and that will all give that plain yogurt much more flavor that you'll love. And just a little side note about maple syrup. Maple syrup is probably the best sweetener that you could use. The way that it converts into sugar inside of your body is one of the healthiest for sweeteners that you have. So it's something to keep in mind. And agave is actually one of the worst, although it's kind of come out as like a health food, if you will. It converts very quickly to fructose very fast in your body, so that's something you wouldn't want to use as much. But maple syrup and raw honey are really the best natural sweeteners you can use, and maple syrup being the best in terms of how the sugar level is processed within your body. So not least are fats. So there are several ways we can add fats to our breakfast in the morning. You can use olive oils for dressings or toppers or mixing, like if you're making that burrito, the breakfast burrito, you can have that in there. Adding avocado and topping any of your breakfast foods with avocado. Avocado is a great healthy fat. And to add other fats in the morning, using small amounts of things like milk, sour cream, maybe a little heavy cream in your creamer, or whole milk. Those are ways you can add some fats in moderation, of course, like we talked about with the eggs and the protein and cholesterol there, and that's a part of the health, the fats category. Just being aware of moderation. And as long as you're using small amounts, you'll be all set. So adding just that little bit of fat in there, and butters, maybe if you just do a pinch of butter in the pan while you're cooking your egg, you've added in a little bit of fat there as well. And as I've mentioned with several of these items, one of the best things you can do to start your day off right is adding fresh fruits and vegetables. Whether it's inside of your yogurt, inside of your egg, inside of your burrito, whatever it is that you're making for your breakfast, adding a little bit of fruit and vegetables to that is just going to add some amazing nutrition to your day. And it's so simple. And another way to not have to take care of that in the morning is as soon as you come home from the store, you prep your veggies and fruits that you know can be chopped and cut for the week and put them in a container. Then they're all ready to go. So all you have to do is just grab them out and toss them in or onto whatever it is you're making. And it doesn't require you to cut or chop at the time. Of course, if you have the time and you want to put that mindfulness into your food, then that's absolutely wonderful. But a lot of us are in a hurry in the morning. I certainly know that we are rushed to get everybody ready, get everybody fed. I try to fit in a workout in the morning and get everybody on the bus and then out the door on my way to work. So I'm sure that you can relate to that, and that is probably your life. And some days you hit the ground running and there's not even a time for a breath. So I know that having things pre-prepped and pre-made and ready to warm is really how we keep our morning moving. So as you can see, the biggest thing to making real food breakfast work is planning ahead. If you have all of this planned ahead, pre-prepped or pre-made before your week starts, real food breakfast becomes an afterthought. You don't have to think about it in the morning. You just grab it, eat it, and you head on your way, and your body is full of nutrients for the day and really nourished to start your day out right, and your kids' day if you have kids before they get to school. That's one of the best things for them to have their brain working and really get them thinking and functioning well, is getting that whole foods and real foods breakfast at home before they go. Sounding awesome to you and you really want to make this work in your house, you need to grab my meal planner. This week on the blog, I'll put the link with this post. You can grab a meal planner that'll help you get started with this real foods breakfast. It's not just for breakfast. You can plan all your meals for your day on it for an entire week. So you want to hop on over to simplymindfulwellness.com, tap on blog, and you can hop into the blog post and grab your free meal planner. As I said, I'll post the link here. Did you like this video? If you did, please like below, add a comment about what you would like to hear more about from me, or what real food breakfast is your favorite in your house and how you make real food breakfast work for you. If you think you know someone that would love this video, please share on social media or with friends and family. Until next week, thanks.